Greetings and well met, Internet. Your boy's back, this time with a build vid on Garuda. You might be wondering why Garuda. She didn't receive any updates recently. She didn't come out recently. There's really no good reason. I just felt like doing it for, on a whim. Honestly, in fact, I don't even think she's that good a frame, period. Like, she's a nuke frame, but her, well, as far as I can tell, that's the best way to play her, in my opinion, is to, leverage her nuke. But the nuke requires a bunch of setup, and it has a 10-meter base radius, which is not very large. And, she has some, like, survivability issues. Like, she has to play very actively in order to not die, for the most part. And, or, like, build around, CC and shit. And the end result winds up being, like, worse than other frames who don't even have to try as hard, in my opinion. So it's a little but I mean, she's super fun, very active playstyle, works pretty well. So no reason not to pick her if you want to. Game's here for fun, so if you want to have fun, here you go. All right, so let's just get into it. First things first, let's just go over the kit real quick so everyone's on the same page. It's pretty quick. Her first ability is I can't remember what it's called, but it's a lunge. It puts this mirror up in front of you that like blocks all damage. It follows the camera, but a little bit slow. This doesn't really matter. The main thing that you should note is, well, aside from the lunge, which is useful just for getting around, and is also makes you invincible during the lunge, hot to note that, is the dread heart above your head. You see like a little number and a pulsing heart. Well, if you hold one while you have this shield up, you'll start charging the dread heart, and then when you release it, you'll throw it and you'll get a big nuke. Also, fun fact, the reason it orange crit right there is because I have critical charm from Smita. It does indeed like count as weapon damage for some reason, so that'll affect it. But if it runs out, you'll see that that's normally not how it works. But yeah. So I don't recommend charging this ever, quite frankly, because it like drains your energy like a motherfucker. And if you build appropriately, you can just kill the dudes with just a single quick tap of it, basically. Well, it has to be a hold because that's how that works. But it is what it is. Also, you'll notice I'm very bloody now. That's her passive. It's actually one of the best passives in the game. I'll give her that. It basically reads, Garuda deals double damage as long as she's killing enemies. In the bottom right, you'll see I have a damage bonus. This is multiplicative to everything. It slowly decays when you're not killing enemies. I think it goes up by 5% every time you kill one. For all intents and purposes, if you're killing enemies, you'll be doing double damage. It's really good passive, but like I said, rest of her kit. Anyway, her second ability is Blood Alter, Bloodwell, whatever. It's her helmet slot. It's just heals over time. The only thing it's good for is proccing Archon Vitality, which you can't do otherwise, but it's not worth, quite frankly, so let's not even bother talking about it. It's your helmet slot. Her third ability is her Infinite Energy ability. Sacrifices some health to give her energy back, and with Molt Reconstruct, you can just cast other abilities, and then you'll have your health back. So it's basically just on-demand infinite energy, which is very nice to have. Definitely a perk in her book. If you want an infinite energy frame, not have to worry about that, here you go. And her fourth ability is Seeking Talons. You hold this down, and it'll like target people, and then you release it, and it primes them with a, I don't remember what it's called, some sort of mark you see over their head. And what that does is anytime you damage them, they will automatically take a slash proc, no matter what. And that slash proc scales off of whatever damage you did, which means it also has a lot of synergy with her hold heart, because this does a lot of damage, which makes them do, yeah, which makes the slash procs very, very heavy. So generally, that's what you want to do. You want to combo the 4 and the 1 like that, like so. You just get one of these, you pop one of these, and you hold down the 1 and release it, and then the guys will all start dying pretty quick. Yep, like so, easy peasy. That being said, I did also overlook one thing, or like not mention one of the things I did there, which is this like poppy thing I'm doing, just like little hop. This doesn't work unless you have an augment. There's an augment specifically for that, so otherwise you just always go into this and do that. So I would highly recommend the augment because it doesn't interrupt your movement. It's quick cast, but that's we'll talk about the build later. But yeah, that's the main thing. Interesting to note is this also counts as weapon damage, much like the one I showed earlier. Oh, perfect! Critical charm again. How convenient. I believe this will make these crit as well. It might work differently. I know Breacher doesn't crit too. I don't remember. Let's see. Let's find out. Do I get orange crits? Yes, I do. Yep, that's what I thought. Yep. Indeed. So, interesting to note. Yes, indeed. Her hold 1 and her 4 both count as, both abilities and weapon damage at the same time. So, that's that will be relevant to our interests in short work. Okay, so let's go into the actual build stuff. I'm not going to go into like the mods yet, because first I want to talk about helminth. I have basically 4 helminth abilities that I really like. She actually has surprisingly good synergy with a lot of these. I go for Breach Surge or Nourish or Roar or Gloom, and I ordered them in that order for a reason. It's basically, those are my picks in order. My favorite is Breach Surge for her currently. This is because of a few reasons. One, you probably already know this, because, you know, people have made a bunch of vids about it and shit, but she actually has, like, a weird infinite scaling loop with her Breach Surge and her 4 together. They, like, proc each other, basically, over and over in, like, an infinite loop, and, I mean, they do both have a duration time, so it's not infinite, but it will, while these both are in effect, the Breach Surge Blind and the Mark on the enemies, they'll just keep taking damage and proccing more, and it'll scale up higher and higher, and they'll start dying. And, it's pretty good. I ran out of energy for that one. Of course, you'll speed it up if you do this, you know, cast more of them. It's not that great, honestly. See, as you can see, it's like taking a hot minute to actually kill these guys. Like, eventually they will all die, but, well, usually there's like 1 or 2 stragglers, but there we go, now they're starting to die. But, like, you can see this is pretty slow. Admittedly, this was not a great, like, display because my passive reset, and, so I'm not doing as much damage as I should be doing otherwise. So we could do it again after I kill all these guys real quick. I probably should have just nuked him with a 1. That would have been even better. But let's try that again real quick. Again, I don't think this is that great though. It's not really that impressive damage-wise. Like, it still takes a while to nuke all these guys. You'd rather just like throw your 1 and nuke them, right? But it's still decent, you know? Yeah, see, now with the extra damage, they're starting to die better. See what I'm saying? Oh, and also, if you didn't notice, I mentioned this in my Frostfit, but remember that you can always cancel Breach Surge casts by pressing another ability. So basically, you should just combo her Breach Surge and her 4 together, like so. See, like, normally Breach Surge has a really laggy end cast like that, but if you press any other button, you can cancel it. You can cancel it with Bloodletting, and cancel it with a Lunge, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, see? So that's a hot pro tip. Oh, I forgot to mention, by the way, the Lunge insta-kills enemies that are under 40% health. But I'm not a huge fan of that, because, like, it's kind of hard to, like, get... I don't know, it's not very good. You need it for the Dread Ward augment, but that's also not very good. The main reason I like Breach Surge, honestly, is just because it, like, amplifies your AoE with more damage and acts as really good crowd control. Like, I can actually just, like, unpause their AI, and I can do the same thing I was doing before, and it will not be much different. I don't know if I blinded the roller guys, so I did 2 of them there. But yeah, it's their AI is on, but I haven't taken any damage yet. That's pretty good. But anyway, Garuda has like a bunch of survivability concerns, so I think that's pretty relevant. But this is not the way you play it anyway. I was just showing the actual like 3-4 combo. The way you should actually play her is like a weird like, it's like a, I might mess it up because oh, let me turn off their AI again, because it's like kind of difficult to muscle memory, and I don't play her that often. But what you want to do is you want to lunge on them to get the mirror, and then you want to jump, cast Breach Surge, and then 4, which will send you into the air, and then hold 1 and release your nuke, and that will kill everyone. You'll be safe up in the air, and it's very fast. So let's see if I have the muscle memory. Jump, cast 4, hold 1, release. Yeah, there you go. And you just loop that. You can add a 3 at the end to get your energy back, and easy peasy lemon squeezy. That's like your basic combo. Also worth noting, yeah, your 4 pops you up whenever you cast it like that, and it gives you a hard landing if you don't avoid it, which is really fucking annoying. But you can avoid it by either casting on the ground, or doing an aim glide before you land, or timing a slide, or even like casting another ability, because she is actionable, and like you can do the Dread Heart, and it'll like boost you up in the air right before you hit the ground again. I think, let's see, can I do it with Breach Surge in time? Oh, oops. Breach Surge in time, let's find out. Yeah, see? So you can prevent hard landings that way. But it is a skill issue. It's like, it's kind of tricky, because normally what I would do is just like hold control to do a slide, but for some reason it doesn't buffer that. Like, I was holding control there and it didn't work. So you have to time the slide, which is a little bit annoying. You can also use the Kavat's Grace mod to fix that, but that's like a skill issue thing. It's an optional pick. You can do that totally. But yeah, Breach Surge is really nice for that, and that was the combo, the whole thing. It works really well, kills all the enemies, increases the AoE, and protects you quite nicely. So that is probably my favorite pick for it. However, she has very good other options. Like I said, the second one I would pick is probably Nourish. This is for a lot of reasons. First of all, this lets us run Blind Rage without, worrying about it too much. you might think, you know, who cares about efficiency when we have infinite energy? However, this bloodletting actually scales off efficiency. So with negative efficiency, this gives way less, and it becomes a real pain in the ass if you don't have Nourish. Like, getting back 25 energy, like, you gotta have 25%. You gotta spam the shit out of that otherwise. And it's for a frame that has to press buttons a lot, I'm not a big fan. So Blind Rage is really nice. You can activate that with Nourish only. Well, you could do it with other ones, but yeah, I think this is the way to go. With in other builds, I just use Transient Fortitude instead, because I would rather not have negative efficiency. But anyway, yeah, that's one reason it's pretty good. Another reason is, remember how I said the Dreadheart and the 4 Talons count as weapon damage? Well, this is where Nourish really comes in. Because not only does Nourish... Well, basically, Nourish adds to it. Like, imagine they have 100% weapon damage of whatever. I think, like, one of them is Impact. And well, it doesn't really matter. They're all, like, 100% status chance, assuming you have enough strength. And what this will actually do is, with Nourish on, it will actually add to the amount of damage you get, period. Like, the buff you have from it. Like, if I had 100% extra viral from Nourish, I would deal double damage, because it's adding to, like, 100% weapon damage of... both your 1 and your 4. And, perhaps more importantly, or I don't know, it's about as importantly, it will even proc viral. Because it has a status chance, and now the weighting is between the original damage and viral. I think that's just slash originally. And if you do that, then you will actually be able to proc viral off that. And indeed, this also works with her 1 as well. This is increased by Nourish damage, and also will proc viral as well. All those things combined are pretty nice. But yeah. If you don't do the correct rotation, it's still not going to be very impressive. But if you do the correct rotation, it looks pretty good. Let's try that again. See if I don't fuck it up. This time you don't have to have Breach Surge at least, so it makes it easier. And then you do one of these, and then they all die pretty quick. Yep, easy peasy lemon squeezy. And you get the nice energy regen from Nourish, and it's also has a defensive property where on a 2-second cooldown, anytime you get hit, it will proc a splash, like an AoE splash that will stagger enemies and proc viral on them. So that's also nice for defense. It's not a great defensive tool, but, you know, it helps, certainly. Okay, so that's Nourish. And then the next pick I would have is Roar, actually, because you may have noticed she's all about slash damage. And if you know how faction damage works, which is what Roar is, it double dips off of damage over time. So this Roar bonus will get applied twice for slash dots. And since Garuda's all about nuking enemies with their slash dots, that's a pretty good trade-off. It's, if you don't get like viral procs from Nourish, Nourish will do more damage even with slash if you get the viral procs. But if you don't, then Roar's your baby. This will do the most damage out of all of them. However, it's also 0 defense, so I don't know. It's a little iffy, and besides, like, it doesn't give like any of the perks that Nourish. Yeah, that was bad just because I was at less than 100 damage because the fucking passive resets every time I change. But yeah, once you get it going, it is quite good, and they get fucked up by the slash box pretty heavily. Yeah, see, it just takes 1 once you get the passive stacked up, and that's pretty good. But yeah, like I said, there's literally no defense on it. It has no other perks other than increasing your damage. It's basically just to juice the slash damage. So I'm not a huge fan. I probably wouldn't pick that off. And the last one's just Gloom, because it's basically just like a way better Blood Altar. Like, your Blood Altar heals you and stuff, but like Gloom also heals you, except slows the shit out of enemies. It's like always up and you don't really have to think about it. Also, yeah, I picked Arcane Eruption for this one because normally she uses Molt Reconstruct to get her health back, but she does not need that with Gloom. And it just, you know, slows enemies and heals you. It's basically just a comfort pick. Like, you can still do all your damage pretty well without needing a big buff. Like, it'll still kill people. Like, this is without... See, that was Arcane Eruption there, as that killed all those guys. But yeah, Arcane Eruption makes them get up really slow, which is kind of... It's both funny and practical, so that's why I picked it. But yeah, that was even without my passive stack. Like, the enemies still died, even without a helminth ability that increases damage. So if you just want Supreme Comfort, this is pretty good too. But, like I said, Breach Surge is actually arguably even better, because, like, our long, complete blind, like, it's very good for survivability. So, it's kind of user preference, but I would say Breach Surge is my favorite. Okay, that's the helminth abilities. Now, let's go into the actual builds I got for you here. First things first, here's Breach Surge. I mean, of course, as always, the aura is to taste. I just put enemy rate on this. You can put, like, growing power if you want. It's kind of whatever. It's not a big deal. I also put Prime Sure-Footed because, like I said, she's almost Shield Gate-esque in that she tries to get, like, invulnerability windows for... I did forget to mention, yeah, her 4 makes her invincible, by the way, while it's casting. But you can't, like, spam it that much. Like, there's still windows where it won't be, and, like, you're busy casting the whole time, so it's not that great for, you know, survivability. Obviously very helpful, but you shouldn't rely on it too much, I'd say. Anyway, so first of all, Molt Reconstruct, I mentioned earlier, that basically makes it so your 3 doesn't have a cost, more or less. You don't have to think about it. Molt Augment is kind of an auto-include, if you ask me. She doesn't have a lot of arcanes that are good, honestly. So this one's plus 60% strength, basically, after you get your kills. That is very good. But other options, they don't entice really at all. That's why I wound up doing the, well, for other reasons, because it's funny and the knockdown's nice. That's why I wound up doing Eruption for Gloom, because, like, I was looking around through the arcades and I was like, there's really not a whole lot that she wants. Well, let's just, fuck it, let's just do Eruption. Anyway, so the build is, you might be wondering why Archon Continuity's on here. Her Talons actually count as... It works the same as her, like, 1 and 4. They also count as ability damage and weapons at the same time. So if you use a Toxin Spect build, this will proc Corrosive as well, if you have Archon Continuity. So that's an interesting little tidbit. I don't think her Talons are that good either, honestly, but, you know, they're there. They're okay. Yeah, other than that, it's just building a shit ton of range because we want our nuke to go off in a very large AoE. Worth noting, the nuke is not line of sight, which is nice, but... she needs to, like, prime it with her 4 for it to really be good, and that is line of sight, so womp womp. And of course she needs to, like, actually get the dread mirror first before she can actually do it, and she needs line of sight on an enemy to get the dread mirror up, so, you know, kind of clunky, but it works out in the end. But yeah, you just crank range, and then you get as much strength as you can after that, assuming you have a decent duration, and that's pretty much it. Oh, also, I guess I should mention the skill issue slot. Prime Flow you do not need, because she can just regenerate her energy at any point, but it's like a real pain in the ass if you don't have it. Similarly, you could put Kavat's Grace here, like I was saying earlier, for to avoid the hard landing, but that's also a skill issue thing. If you're a real pro, you could slot none of them and get even more oomph out of this build by putting something else in the slot, like just putting a reach in there and putting something else there. I don't know. You could do a lot of things, but for me, I think definitely Prime Flow is helpful for easing the pain of playing her, and so would be Kavat's Grace. I think one of these I have it in. Yeah, this one here, but I don't know. I would really like one more mod slot so that I could fit all of them in, but alas, we don't have that. You could like take off Transient Fortitude or something, but yeah. Okay, and then for Nourish build, obviously use Blind Rage. I took off Flow for that because, you know, it's easier to get your energy back. But again, you know, that's just like, you can just put Flow back here, it's fine. Roar's basically the same thing as Breach Surge. I think these pages, yeah, they're literally identical. Gloom's a little different because I want to hit the strength threshold for this. If you, the maximum slow, 95%, is hit at 272% strength. And if you have Molt Augmented, you will indeed hit that threshold eventually, and that's really nice. You don't need that much AoE anyway. Like, of course, she becomes a much better nuke if she has more AoE, which is why, like, Gloom is really the defensive option. It's very, very not offensive oriented, but, you know, still pretty good overall. Definitely comfort pick, and yeah, I think that's pretty much all there's to say about the mods. I guess I will mention also having an auger mod is pretty helpful for, you know, not dying, because after she gets out of her invincibility window, she will actually have shields, meaning her health bar will not immediately be vulnerable. You can just put this on the secondary too, honestly, but you do want reach because, you know, more range. So kind of kill two birds with one stone on that. But like, I could imagine like you could just take off the reach because like, you could go with 235% range and that wouldn't be bad. And free up a mod slot. That way you could put Kavat's Grace here or something. But then, in that case, you'd either want like Brief Respite or an Aura mod, or an Auger mod on your pistol, that is. And yeah, that's the build, I think. I guess I should talk about Talons real quick. I mentioned that, you know, I like having the Toxin with Archon Continuity to proc both of those things. You could also just go with pure attack speed and not really care about it, because this is one of those fast attacking slide attack weapons, so just for pure mobility, you could use attack speed there. And alternately, you could just use a build that is just more standard and has praise on her slash scaling, because this does almost entirely slash damage. I just put Buzzkill in there for even more, and you could do that. But I prefer Prime Fever Strike with Archon Continuity. But again, like I was saying, like this doesn't honestly even work that well. If you're not using the Nourish build, like the claws are not really that great. Although, yeah, like I said, they do have the unique ability of counting as an ability, so Archon continuity works on. But it's not good. Like especially because they literally don't have an arcane slot. Like it's hard to compete in today's day and age when there's no melee influence or anything. You know, that's a rough one. You know, and they only appear when you don't have a melee weapon equipped. So that's a big opportunity cost there. You know. Not a huge fan of that overall. Also, these don't even work in EDA because you like literally can't take no weapon. Well, I mean, you can, but you will always get penalized for not bringing a weapon you want. Like they're, you know, you have to pick the weapons they give you basically. You know? And if you have no weapon, that's obviously not picking what they gave you, is it? Okay. I don't think oh yeah, I did forget something. The archon shards. Well, I just use Caspy. Caspy's really important with her because her skills are all laggy as fuck, but having 75% is enough for me. I'm happy with that. And just strength shards aside from that. I'm not swimming in the Taos, so I had to just go for the little ones. But yeah, I mean, she'll do more damage with that. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Certainly there are other options you could pick, theoretically, but I don't see much reason to. These seem like the best ones to me. Alright, yeah, and I believe that, with that said, that should be everything. So, oh, I guess one more thing. Wow, look how shiny she is. What the fuck, man? Why is she so shiny? Right, anyway. Okay, let's do the good old SP Circulus demo. It's gonna be a shit show because she's hard to play and I'm not good at her, but whatever, let's do it. Jump cut. Should probably start by just getting your energy up, I would say. And we'll just get these guys out of my life. And commence. Oh, what the? What's even going on here? Let me lunge. There we go. Jeez. Like stuck behind the stairs or something. Weird. Alright, anyway, let's get after it. Get one of these, and you hold this guy. And then they start popping. We still don't have our passive up yet, though. So, right, there we go. Now the passive is stacked. You plunge to this guy. Throw this down. Use some bloodletting. Get your energy back. It's, you know... God, the fucking hard land. Yeah, that time I held one too early, so I failed to buffer it correctly. You have to wait a tick to actually do the hold if you're doing the midair thing, because otherwise, yeah, see, if you hold one too early, you get the hard landing like that. Oh, also, you need the dread mirror in the first place. That might actually be my problem. See what I said? Like, a skill issue, dude. This, she requires a lot more using your brain than most characters, and like I said, like the end result is a little iffy. Like, you know, like she does nuke the guys, but like that wasn't that great, you know. Oh, yeah, and see, I gotta get my dread mirror up, and there's another hard landing. You know, it's kind of a pain in the ass. Let's see, and there I was reduced down to 2 HP. God damn it! See what I'm saying? Like it, I don't know. She seems like a little bit of a pain in the ass to me to play, but you know. It's different strokes, different folks. You know, she's still like fun. You know, definitely if you like a more active playstyle, this is your gal, like I was saying. But I've seen much stronger nukes, and I've seen frames that can survive a lot more easily. Like even with Breacher, it's been a little dicey at times here. I mean, she does get the job done, and you know, pretty fun. There's that. Infinite energy, always there. I mean, as far as, like, one of the nice things about her is that she doesn't need weapons at all to do her thing. That's always a boon in today's circuit era, because sometimes in the circuit you get fucked with weapon equipment. Same thing with EDA, too. See, most of my hard landings are just from thinking I have a dread mirror stored up and I don't. I'm trying to prevent the hard landing with my one, and I just don't have the mirror up in the first place. Let's not die real quick and throw this guy down. There we go. I hate this tile, actually. It's pretty awkward for this. A lot of people love this tile, but like the differing elevations here are a pain in the ass if you ask me. See, look how many fucking buttons I gotta press, and the end result is a little underwhelming. Just check out my "You're Playing Saren Wrong" vid to see a build that is much better. I don't know. I guess I'm a little bit of a hater, but this is only a mild hater vid, and you should see what I have to say about Zephyr. But yeah, I mean, I am pretty new to Garuda, honestly. Like, I didn't even like have a great understanding of how she worked or like how to build her until like a week ago, because I just felt like building her. I don't know. But so if any Garuda heads are out there and they got some hot tips for me, I'd love to hear them. There's also, I didn't mention anything about the Dread Ward augment too. There's a augment where if you kill an enemy with their one lunge, requiring them to be under like 40% HP, like so, then you will get 8 seconds of unkillability, which is pretty cool. However, there's a bunch of things that are totally wrong with that. One, it's kind of hard to actually get the execute kill, like enough to maintain that is a huge pain in the ass. It does scale with duration, so if you crank duration, you can get that up to a much higher number. I think it goes up to like 20 seconds or so if you really crank it. But like you need narrow-minded for that, and that'll really harm your nuke. It's pretty bad. And like the unkillability buff just hides up there in your buff bar, so you have like basically no idea when it's up. If it was like down there by your passive or something, that would be great, but it is not like that. We still live in buff bar clusterfuck world, so it could be better. And yeah, as you can see, there's a lot of skill issue here. I mean, I could certainly be increasing my kill rate if I were better at the game. Well, better at playing Garuda, I guess. I'm pretty good at the game, I like to think. Not great. I mean, speedrunners will fuck me up, I'm sure. But I still haven't seen anyone post a faster Netracell than I have. Should peep that vid if you haven't, and you're interested in doing Netracell fast. Building up a library, baby. Anyway. But yeah, that's Garuda. Acolytes spawning soon. Let's see how it goes. I don't think the Acolytes get nuked very well. But I can't remember. Let's find out, I guess. Torment. Torment is the one that goes invincible, so he might be a pain in the ass. Yeah, see, he's taking damage, but it's you know, I've seen much. God, these fucking hard landings, dude. I'm telling you. That's why, yeah, I really wish there was one more mod slot so I could viably fit in Kavat's Grace nicely without worrying about it too much. Oh my god, and now these guys spawn because it took so long to kill this guy. Oh yeah, fun fact, I should mention, you can't actually lunge at Eximus enemies, which is pretty cringe. There you go. At least these guys died alright. Whoop. That was good. I should kill the fucking Torment though. Where is this guy? Maybe I should just kill him with this thing. There we go. Perfect. Good old using weapons. Alright, that'll do it for me here. Oh jeez, my life support isn't even that good, dude. Look at that. Let's get out of here. I'm not a huge fan of her. That's like the best I can get out of her, honestly. Like, you could also use Talons and like do a melee sort of thing. But like I said, there's no like arcane on the Talons. They're not that great. There are no Valkyr claws. What is wrong with my macro, dude? I keep getting these like normal swipes these days. That used to happen before they had like an update that changed like how melee works, and I think it was melee 2.0, and it like changed the input sliding macros so that I used to always get those like, you know, the non-slide attacks while I'm trying to slide attack, and after the update it stopped happening, but I'm getting them again occasionally, so I don't know what happened there. A little unfortunate. But whatever, that's a tangent. That's Garuda for you. Again, you know, I'm a little bit new to her, so maybe I'm missing something. If any Garuda heads are out there and want to add something, hit me up in the comments. Make these vids partially just because I want to understand the game better and do, you know, have a good understanding overall. But yeah, if you liked it, there's a button for that. Like and subscribe, please. I would appreciate it. I'm close to 1,000 subs, which means I might be able to start getting some cake. Side hustle. Anyway, yeah, that's it. Hope you liked it. Peace. Bye-bye.